So welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist? And am I the antagonist for switching to regular milk to prove my lactose intolerant roommate keeps stealing from me? So as always, I read the story in its entirety, we rush it over to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction, then I do the decoy defense to kind of give you the inverse of that. I read some of the top comments and the controversial comments and then read your comments down below, but let's go ahead and get to the story right now. So OP wrote, me and two other guys share an apartment together and we split all the bills. The only thing we don't split cost on is groceries. Everyone's in charge of buying their own food and we don't touch whatever doesn't belong to us in the fridge. We put our names on everything so no one gets mixed up. The issue has been going on almost a year and I'm sick of it. One of my roommates, R, keeps stealing my food. I get home from work and my containers with leftovers are sometimes missing. They have my name written on it, or my stuff finishes too quick. My gallon of milk, for example. I buy almond milk because I like the taste, but it seems to finish after a week even though I've only drank once or twice. I confronted R about this lots of times and that's caused lots of arguments. He outright denies it and tells me I'm crazy even though it's obvious. My other roommate and I carpool together because we work at the same early morning shifts around the same area, so I know it's not him. It's always after we get back home and R's already left for work that I notice my food's gone. My roommates also had similar problems, but not as often as I do. I'm guessing because R doesn't like what he buys. The funny thing is, R buys a lot for himself and is almost more stingy about his food. He will literally point out what's his when he comes back from grocery shopping and tells us not to touch it. Last week, my milk was nearly empty again and I got fed up. I went to the liquor store and bought regular dairy milk. I drank what was left of my almond milk and refilled the gallon with the one I bought. This was to catch/prove R is the one stealing since he's lactose intolerant. The next day, Saturday, we get back from work and R is pissed. He yelled at me and he was stuck in the bathroom for 40 minutes with bowel problems because of my milk. He was using it to make a shake. I only responded with, "So you're the one who's been stealing?" He freaking exploded. Yeah, he admitted he sometimes is drinking my milk and eating my food, but he was more mad that I switched milks than the fact that he was caught. I told him I wouldn't have done that if he just stopped taking my stuff from the fridge, or at least told the truth instead of trying to make it seem like I was making it up. My roommate backed me up and thought it was kind of funny as he got payback from stealing from us. It was a little tense right now, and my roommate told me that R is trying to convince him to agree to kick me out. Little does he know we're both looking to move somewhere else together because we're sick of his crap. I told some of my buddies what happened, and a few think that I was the antagonist for that. I feel like I'm not in the wrong here. He was taking my food and not even owning up to it, and that I wanted to prove it. Does that make me the antagonist? So as always, you gotta take the case over to Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction to the situation, and honestly, it's sad that, you know, well, this is not working, that button. Okay, so it's sad that he's over there not really caring about how his theft affects OP or the other roommate. He only seems to care about how it affects himself. So yeah, 100%, who cares if he's mad about it because he brought it on himself? Is it a bit extreme that OP had to resort to poisoning the roommate to prove that they're guilty? Yeah, but it seems like they gave R every opportunity in the world to like fess up to the crime, so it's kind of on them. I would just say the decoy defense here would have to be that this kind of violates the rules of war in the sense of like roommate scuffles, you know? It's like if OP and R were in a shouting match and they just skipped the whole shoving and throwing punches and OP just went straight to releasing his laser hounds attacking him in his bowel movements, you know? Like this violates the Geneva Convention of roommate warfare. Because not only did it bring poison into the fridge, he mislabeled it. So now that's on the table. So not only does OP need to worry about, hey, what's truly in the Fruity Pebbles right now, the other roommate needs to wonder if they're going to be collateral damage in this whole situation. So R doesn't seem like the most rational person, and now the gloves are off, so probably everybody needs to move out, which is, this is like, you know, this was going too far. But, you know, all jokes aside, I guess we can only really judge OP in this situation. I want to go ahead and say that he's not the antagonist because if, you know, R didn't want to spend his Saturday on the toilet, he shouldn't be stealing other people's groceries. And I think that, you know, maybe instead of OP apologizing, he should have doubled down on his power play. Like he was, you know, his original response was, "Thought you weren't stealing the milk." Well, he should have said like, "Hey, well, you know what? You should wait and see what else has my milk inside of it right now." So now, R would probably have to just move out because he's like, okay, what else is going to make me ruin my day? Because everything's probably going to have this dairy in it. But, you know, who knows? I say have roommates when you're still younger so you can appreciate living alone later on in your life so much more, because, you know, when you're living alone, maybe you'll enjoy having the DecoyNoise podcast just to kind of fill the dead air. So let's go ahead and take a break right now so you can like, sub, and share with anybody else. Also comment before we get to those top comments to give me your kind of knee-jerk reaction as well. But also, you know, check out the Decoy Voice podcast. I'm gonna put that in the description. It's gonna be pretty much the same thing as it is over here, but it's gonna be more directed towards like real life stories and more how do I say it, just like realistic things, not realistic things, but just more real world topics. So let's go ahead and get to the top comment saying, not the antagonist. As you said, R wasn't stealing your food, he wouldn't have had a problem, which is true. And the next reply was, also, it's not like it's a life-threatening allergy. It causes a minor, if smelly, inconvenience, which I would say it's that minor, smelly inconvenience, but, you know, OP kind of made the big jump from just, hey, we're just kind of bickering, are you stealing my food, what's really going on, to I'm going to poison you and ruin your Saturday. So we've made it jumped up a notch. Who goes to say that R is not going to jump a notch higher than that? Not even using just like milk to, you know, make his day a little bit messier. Maybe he actually just goes full blown like laxative in his cereal box or whatever. Like, you don't know. And sometimes like the little treats you get are made from the same factory. Like human snacks are made from the same factory as like cat treats. So he's just going to replace, you know, your granola bar with cat treat. I don't know how to make this the equivalency or whatever, but like, you know, he's just gonna put like cat food inside your food. So it's like it's gonna get messy before it gets better. But let's go ahead and read the next top comment. Not the antagonist. It's your food. You could have put your own medicine in it, or even your pet's medication into it. You could have put laxative in it, or even syrup of, I don't know what that word is. And if I would still say not the antagonist, when people steal food, lie about it, and don't replace if they reap what they sow, food is expensive, especially milk substitutes. Without replacing the food, he was essentially stealing money from your wallet, which is very true. He was stealing money directly from his wallet, and, you know, everybody's going to seem to back OP in his little power play over here of swapping it out, but I do want to tread cautiously because it's like, you know, if someone's shouting at you in the street, yeah, they need to expect that you're gonna shout back at them. If they want to start throwing punches, you should probably expect that they're gonna throw punches back. So it's a situation where if you don't want someone to start replacing your unprotected food at home with other things and just mislabeling it, you've kind of brought a weird element, not a weird element, but a dangerous element into the home, because now what is R gonna do? Because he doesn't seem to he has no qualms with stealing from you. What else is he willing to do once he knows that you're willing to jump up a notch? So, I mean, yeah, I'd kind of say that this is we're in a risky situation now. So let's go ahead and read the reply to that saying, oh yeah, it really, wait, nah, this is getting kind of hard. Okay, oh yeah, it really is. I try to buy from grocery stores that sell all organic, so it does get expensive. So yeah, he was genuinely stealing like a grip of money from him, because almond milk is expensive. Almond milk's even more expensive than almond milk that's organic. I don't even know what that would be insanely expensive. So I get why they would kind of jump up to the next thing. But let's go ahead and read one more top comment saying, not the antagonist. I read a story from Ask a Manager where something similar occurred. OP liked spicy food, and food thief ate it and reported OP to HR for trying to poison him. Eventually, OP got fired after HR agreed with the food thief. OP got a lawyer, and the story came out that HR and the food thief were in a relationship. Company owner fired both offenders and hired OP back with increased pay. Dude sucks for stealing your food, and I would have done the same thing. So I feel like everybody agrees with that, but honestly, the whole, you know, poisoning your food to get back at somebody does become a dicey scenario. And here the thing is, like, that's why traps and, you know, what is it, sabotage, I forget what it's called, but like those things are illegal because you don't know the collateral damage. Like, what if it wasn't, you know, the R that was drinking it, it was R's girlfriend, who actually doesn't have lactose intolerance, actually has, like, you know, actual allergic reaction that would cause her like to die or something like that. So you can't, like, you know, you hate to say, oh yeah, I poison my food, add spicy stuff to my food, or he adds nuts to his pizza or whatever to make sure that no one else is stealing it. But it's like, it could have much worse unintended consequences, and you don't want to go down that path. That's why I say, like, you know, it violates the Geneva Convention. Geneva Convention is something entirely different, but just the idea that, like, you know, there is rules of warfare and you don't really want to cross that. So as always, the top comments are giving us good perspective and, you know, people agreeing with us. Let's go ahead and get over to those controversial comments right now. So the top controversial comment is, the problem with this sub is it rarely answers the question properly. The question answers is, am I right? And in this, yes, you're right, but that's not the name of the sub. And despite being right, this was still an antagonist move, so you're the antagonist. Having said that, it's also hilarious, and the Schadenfreude is strong. I don't know what that word is. And is an antagonist move. But it was like the Tony Stark or House kind of antagonist move where we're kind of amused by it, so A+. And that is very true that we always get away from, you know, am I justified? am I right? Was this cool? Was this funny? Did you enjoy this story of revenge or whatever? This isn't petty revenge. This isn't pro revenge. This is, am I the antagonist? Were they being mean when they could have been nicer? Did they take it too far? In this situation, it kind of seems like they did. Like, they could have been a little bit nicer. They are roommates, and even though they're trying to move out, it's like this whole, you know, snarky behavior, like, oh, the two roommates are gossiping about the other roommate and we're angry, we're gonna get back at them. How about we just have a man-to-man discussion and sit them down and say, this is where I put a Sharpie mark on the milk, where to go right now? Like, actually putting them up, like, in the situation, as opposed to, you know, poisoning your roommate in this really backhanded way where, you know, you're doing, I don't know, this isn't espionage, but that's the word I want to use right now. So you're using espionage to get the person. I know it doesn't apply, but I feel like it does. So the idea is we should just have, like, you know, adult conversations and not be the antagonist, not be this whole thing where it's like, ho, I caught you and I have a funny story to tell online and post on my Instagram story because I got him. Ooh, it should just be a thing where it's like, we're adults, we pay rent, we pay bills, we have jobs. No more of this, like, you know, older brother, kid sister thing where you're just trying to, like, mess with each other because mom and dad won't let you actually shout at each other or something. Like, let's be adults about this. And this, it was kind of like more of a college roommate thing, as opposed to, I don't know how old these people are over here, but as it was more of a college roommate thing than an actual, like, adult conversation. So I would say that this person in the controversial section was probably more right than anybody else, including myself, saying, yeah, he was kind of being the antagonist. Actually, no, everyone sucks here because everyone's doing something wrong, and the whole, you know, the other roommate being collateral damage when or inevitably poison something of theirs, it's just gonna happen. This is a doomsday scenario right now where, you know, everyone's got their finger on the launch button and just no one wins now because of milk. I don't want to say that OP shouldn't defend themselves, but they should have been a more direct adult way to go about it. So as always, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate you hanging out with me and watching all my content. If you like this, make sure you share it with somebody you know, or someone that you think would like this video or the channel overall. Drop your comments down below to let me know what you think about it, and also head over to that Decoy Voice channel. I'll put the link in the description if you want to see more content like this, because it's going to be a more serious take to, you know, the DecoyNoise or Decoy defense or whatever I'm gonna end up calling it. But you know what, you don't gotta do any of that. You can just put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of DecoyNoise coming up next.